Well, the JSC, the Judicial Service Commission, has endorsed Mandisa Maya for the position of Deputy Chief Justice. It grilled her yesterday on her ability to become the first female Deputy Chief Justice. Once again, to remind you, Maya didn't make the cut in the February interviews to become Chief Justice. Let's talk about this endorsement with Mbekezeli Benjamin from Judges Matter joining us this morning. Mbekezeli, hello, good morning to you. Good to have you with us. Before we unpack about what it takes to be the Deputy Chief Justice and what the role actually entails, let's just deal with the elephant in the room. Back in February, a lot of criticism levelled at those who were asking the questions. What did you make of the questioning yesterday? Fair or not fair?
Good morning, Gareth. I think the questioning this time around was much fairer than it was in February. In fact, I can easily say this was a much tougher interview than the one that she faced in February. And I think that's possibly because the JSC has sort of turned the corner in the way that it questions the candidates. It's a lot more focused, it's a lot more dignified, and at least now there is some set of criteria that they use to guide these questions. So I think we saw that in April at the last round of interviews, but now again during the interviews that we saw yesterday.
So how important is this for the bench of judges in our country to have Mandisa Maya as the Deputy Chief Justice from the vision of Judges Matter? I imagine this is a good move. Tell me why.
Well, first and foremost, Judge Maya is an excellent judge. She's experienced and has been on the bench for about 22 years now. She comes with a lot of leadership. She's been in judicial leadership for about 10 years now, so she knows the system quite well, and she has quite a clear and compelling vision for what she would like to achieve in her new position as Deputy Chief Justice. But also symbolically, it's quite important to have a woman in the position. We've never had a woman as Deputy Chief Justice before. So it would mean a lot symbolically for a woman to sort of break another glass ceiling in our judiciary.
Beyond the symbolism of it all, Mbekezeli, what's the hope as far as Judges Matter is concerned? What would you like to have the new, potentially the Deputy Chief Justice deal with?
Well, she spoke a lot about the problems that are currently facing the judiciary. One big one is the administration that is provided to judges. We know and we've heard lots of judges complain that they don't have working telephones, they don't have Wi-Fi, some of them don't even have computers and access to libraries in their courts. So we're hoping that her knowing about these problems would mean that she would put them at the top of her priority list, and she would get down to getting those things fixed. Because without libraries, the quality of judgments that are produced will inevitably decline. And we don't want a situation where the judges in our courts are performing subpar or suboptimally because of the resources that are provided to them. We do know that most of them are incredibly committed to the job. Most of them uphold integrity. So they need their leadership to step up and assist them with the tools of trade.
We've seen, of course, the Chief Justice Raymond Zondo getting a lot of airtime because of the state capture inquiry, and I think people have a fair idea of what the Chief Justice does as the #1 position. Help me understand, Mbekezeli, before I say goodbye to you, what exactly does the Deputy Chief Justice do? How do they work together as Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice, and the judges? What would she actually be doing?
So broadly, the role of Deputy Chief Justice is to support the Chief Justice in all of their responsibilities. But in the past, we've seen that there have been specific responsibilities that have been allocated to the Deputy Chief Justice, one of which is to chair the Judicial Conduct Committee, which is responsible for holding judges accountable when they don't behave well. So the DCJ disciplines judges. But the DCJ also presides over hearings at the Constitutional Court. So in the last little while, we saw that Justice Zondo is preoccupied, for example, with the State Capture Commission, and now we hear that the report is only coming out on Wednesday. So it's unlikely that he will preside over the hearings anytime soon, and that's where the Deputy Chief Justice will step in and make sure that the court functions as best as it should.
Well, I appreciate your time and speaking to us. Always good to have Mbekezeli Benjamin joining us here on eNCA from Judges Matter on the appointment and the interview of the new Deputy Chief Justice. No doubt we'll be getting a lot of reaction to Mandisa Maya.